I'm Pauline from Passion Cube. I'm a personal branding coach. Have you ever met someone that left a strong impression in your heart that you remember that someone for the rest of your life? Well, that was happened to me when I was working in the bank when I was in my early 20s. Being someone new, someone young, and someone full of energy, working in the banks means you do your best, you perform whatever you could, that you could actually get the best result, and hopefully your supervisor will promote you. So that was exactly who I was at that point of time. So I waste no time, and I don't want to do things that is unproductive in my definition. So there was one day, out of nowhere, all of a sudden, I got called by my supervisor. I was quite nervous because I thought, is there anything that I did wrongly that I need to rectify right now so that I am being called so urgently by my supervisor? I got so nervous. So when I went there, my supervisor asked me to attend the training. I was so pissed off because I felt that training was just a waste of my time. I could have used the time that I spent the whole day in the training room to finish my work to become more effective and efficient rather than spending my time listening to someone who is very boring talking about technical stuff that is not even useful in my work. That was at a very right point of time. So I have no choice because I was instructed by my supervisor. I had to go for that training. So I entered the room. I saw a man in his mid-40s, an Indian man, a very, I would say, well-built body. That wasn't all. The most interesting about him was he had a very, very, very funny haircut. Imagine a piece of coconut being slot into the scalp of his head and you just cut the hair like that. Yeah, that was exactly how his hair looked like. So I was like, what is this joker doing over here? That was the first thing that I thought to myself. And I seriously didn't feel that I would like to proceed with the training at all. So again, I had no choice. We started the training. And as he was starting the training, he was sharing with us about his family. He had a daughter who is actually 8 years old at that point of time. Her daughter wanted to try how does a haircut feels like. So his daughter actually cut his hair without even a single drop of hesitation. He let his daughter cut his hair. At that point of time, my impression and perception towards him totally changed. In my heart, I totally have and built my full respect towards this man in front of me. To me, I felt that a man that can let someone to cut his hair when there is something that's very important to him, I feel that a person who can do such thing out of love for someone else, there is something very strong and something very beautiful personality. There is something that attracted me the most during the training. Not only that, the moment my perception on him changed, the whole environment of the training changed as well. And to my surprise, he was a very funny man. His training was seriously engaging. And that was the first time in my life that I felt that training wasn't the typical kind of mindset that I was having all this while. Training is so fun, it's so engaging. And even a single topic of customer service, that was exactly what he was training at that point of time. A topic that looks so irrelevant to me, it becomes somehow very relevant and somehow it stick to my mind until today. And guess what? This gentleman, I only knew him as a trainee myself. Right after the training, I went back to my work, and 10 years down the road, I would say more than that, which is today, I'm still thinking about this man. This man, his impression that he left in my mind and in my heart, it is still there. And I still remember his name. His name is Mr. Alphonse, and he has just passed away a couple of weeks ago. So things can happen so beautifully that even I have not met him anymore after the training session, which is more than 10 years back. I still remember him till the deepest point of my heart, just because of the personality, of the kind impression that he brought to me. So that is how important it is when it comes to our personal branding. So if you notice, as what I have shared last week, personal branding is actually a combination of the factor of A, B, and C. So what are those A, those B, and those C? So like I mentioned, personal branding is about our appearance, our attitude, our behavior, as well as our communication. So for Mr. Alphonse, obviously his appearance wasn't that fantastic to start with at all. He had a very, very funny hairdo. But when I got to know how did the funny hairdo come about, it is totally changed. The whole perception on him is totally changed. So like I always mention, appearance does build up our personal branding. But the deeper layer of it is actually our attitude, our behavior, and our communication. And in the sense of our friend Mr. Alphonse over there, it is actually his behavior whereby it actually stems from his personality that counts. His funny personality and the little minute detail that he did to his personality. The little detail that he's willing to let his daughter play around with his hair, despite the fact that he's a trainer that needs to meet thousands of people in a year. He doesn't mind. He doesn't even look at his hairdo. He is proud carrying that hair because it is the outward of his daughter that he loved the most. Just because of this little minute trait in his personality, the whole perception of what I have to him changed. And true enough, it is someone very well respected in the industry. So friends, in your personal branding, it's not just about your part of it or it's just a little bit of it. It's actually the whole spectrum of ABC, the element of ABC that I mentioned. And personality, it is something so strong in you that it becomes your asset that nobody can even steal it away from you when you have built that personality. So that's why always remember, personal branding at the end of the day is also your personal leadership. So that's why I will wish that you'll be able to build your personality that is so strong, that leave a legacy, that leave a certain level of inspiration to people who come across in your life or even across a pathway with your life. So that will be something that I'd like to share with you and how it has touched my life, despite the fact that Mr. Alphonse has actually left us and he left a legacy, to me at least. So I would like to ask you, what are the little minute traits that you have in your personality that left the strongest impression with the people that cross paths in your life? So here we are. I'd like to hear more from you again. Thank you and have a nice day.